Alright, so I bet some of you saw this coming. So I unboxed the R4 cartridge a while back and showed you how it worked. Today I'm going to be unboxing the EZ Flash cartridge. Now the R4 cartridge is for the Nintendo DS. This is actually for the Game Boy Advance. So the EZ Flash cartridge is a flash cart which allows us to load up our ROM files and save files onto an SD card, and it has the exact same shape as a Game Boy Advance cartridge, and it allows us to play our games basically as if we were on authentic hardware. So yeah, the advantage of this though is that instead of having one cartridge per game, you can now have hundreds of games on one cartridge. Very nice and compact. So it's just a kind of smoky, semi-transparent little case with a very small PCB. You see we have a little battery inside there that is probably to keep, well, I imagine to keep saves. It has flash memory, I'm assuming. Otherwise, how would these ROMs be stored in there? So I'm assuming it just saves the ROM files and the save files in the flash. I mean, it's literally called EZ Flash, so it definitely has flash memory. The battery, I assume, is for like a real-time clock. So like I know some of the Game Boy Pokemon games like Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, they used a clock system to determine like in-game events. So perhaps it's for that. But yeah, that is it. Now you'll notice that the PCB here, it's kind of hard to see in the light. You can see it's kind of thin. It doesn't actually take up the entire length of the cartridge. There's a reason for that, and that's because it comes with this. Check that out. It is a little compact alternate shell for the EZ Flash cartridge. And the reason that it has that is for this. It has it so that if you wanted to, you can put it in a Nintendo DS Lite. Like so. So you see, there you go. And it's going to sit absolutely flush. There you go. How nice is that? That's awesome. All you have to do is take it apart with a little screwdriver and put it in there, and then you'll be good to go. Ooh, it actually falls apart pretty quickly. Yeah, probably better to have some screws in there, I guess. So I'll put my authentic Pokemon Ruby back in here. There we go. Alright, so that is the flash cartridge. As you can see, it's held in by a little screw, so assembly, disassembly will be pretty easy. So that's what comes in the box. On top of that, we do have some documentation, kind of giving the instructions, the card size that it takes. You're going to have to format it to, let's see, you're going to, yeah, I assumed you have to format it to FAT32. That's what these things take. Interesting how you have to do different file systems depending on the size of the cartridge. That's interesting. I'm going to be using a 32 gig SD card, so I will be using that in here. Definitely overkill for Game Boy ROMs, but hey, it is what it is. You can also, I believe you can also do Game Boy Color games as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it also, the last thing that this thing comes with is one of these little USB to SD card dongles. Pretty cheap, pretty simple. You put a micro SD card on that side, and then you can plug it into your PC for, you know, very convenient, very easy reading and writing to your SD card. So you can load it up with some ROMs, and there you go. Now on my R4 cartridge, I do have some Game Boy ROMs and some saves already on there. So I'm assuming I can just copy them over. I do need to get the necessary firmware installed on the cartridge and put onto the cartridge from the SD card. So I will do that, and then I'll show you a demonstration of how it works. I will have a link to the EZ Flash website down below. I got this one from Amazon. I believe it cost, I want to say 60 or 70 bucks. So it's definitely more expensive than the R4 cartridge because it's not as mass produced, but it definitely is a cool piece of kit that if you are a Game Boy player or you have a Game Boy player for your GameCube, it's definitely a great way to play some of your ROMs on authentic hardware if you want. So I'm gonna get it loaded up and then I will show you a demonstration. Alright, got everything set up. Getting the necessary download files from the website was actually quite easy. All you have to do is get the firmware file, and then you can get the thumbnails for the games and the cheats. Those are separate files if you want those. Those are not required for functionality though, but I went ahead and got them. So we're going to go ahead and snap this into the DS. Turn it on. Okay. And then we have our Game Boy cartridge that we can go ahead and start. I don't have my Game Boy Advance with me, but I'm assuming this is going to be the exact same functionality as it would be on a Game Boy. So you see EZ Flash pops up. There we go. This brings us to our little dashboard here. And then here are our games. So I have 4 different ROMs for Pokemon. We're just going to... Sapphire is the one that I started. So we're just going to do a clean boot, which means we're not booting it with cheats. So let's just go ahead and boot it up here. There you go. And... there you go. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's a pretty simple Game Boy Flash cartridge, but this is awesome if you want to play some retro games on the go. Very happy with this purchase. Very glad that I got this thing now. It's going to be a great piece of kit. Next video I'm probably going to do on this is seeing if I can trade with an authentic game. I have my copy, authentic copy of Ruby, so let's see if we can trade them. So I'll be doing a video dedicated to that. Make sure you stay tuned, but thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.